What's up guys, Daminator1, 2 and 2, and today's another list day. It's the worst XYZ Monsters in the game. I can't wait to make this one and get a million comments down below of how my choices are dumb and I am stupid and the world is coming to an end because I put something terrible on the list that you just happen to like. But in order to kind of try to avoid that, a couple videos ago I actually asked you guys to put down in the comments of what cards you think should be on the list. So that way there's some level of separation between me and all the fanboys of whatever card that I put on here. I also scoured tips and even kind of try to come up with my own combos and things like that in order to try to kind of tease out any possible niche uses for any of these cards in order to try to alleviate some hate in the comments, because frankly, I don't want to deal with it. Also, I want to begin with a couple of rules. Number one, I don't hate any of these cards. You shouldn't take it personally if your favorite card's on the list. Just because they're bad doesn't mean I'm somehow dumb for enjoying them. That's not what I'm trying to say here. So if one of your favorite cards is on the list, I'm not trying to say anything about you as a player. The other thing, rule number two that I want to consider is we're trying to ignore rank up magic, at least to some extent, unless it's absolutely necessary for the card for, like, I don't know, like a chaos variant of a card. But it's a little unrealistic for people to expect me to remember every single rum card that could go from every single one monster into every other single monster, and there's tons of different stipulations and level jumps, and it's just a mess. And you'd actually have to like find a chart and map out all the possibilities. Like when I was going through Astral Force, I was like, wow, there's some crazy combos you can do. You would never do any of them because they're terrible, but it's kind of fun what you can make with it. So we're gonna kind of ignore that to at least some extent. But anyway, let's get started. Alright, the first one is number 7, Lucky Straight. Oh, I hate putting this card on the list because it's actually kind of a neat card. It's a gamble card, which is really, really cool. And it's a rank 7, which means it's not super hard to play. Though being 3 level 7 does really hinder its use. It's kind of a waste of advantage and you go way too neg for it. But anyway, what does it do? Basically what you do is you detach one material from this bad boy and roll 2 6-sided dice and take the higher of the numbers. And then you multiply that by 700, and that's how much attack power he gets, which means he's probably getting about an average of 2100 attack power. That's not a bad boost, but that does mean sometimes he's getting a huge boost of like 49, and the other one is 7? Math, Dave. It's way too hot in this apartment. But oh boy, here comes the rest of the math. If the two numbers on the 2 dice add up to 7, you actually get to use one of 3 other effects. Send all other cards on the field to the graveyard, special summon a monster from the graveyard or the hand, or draw 3 cards and discard 2. Kind of like Graceful Charity. These are all really great effects. So, how come it's on the list, Dave? Well, other than you have a 1 in 6 chance of even resolving any of these effects, it's bad because even though its effects are pretty good, it's a little hard to make at 3 level 7 without Dragon Rulers, and it's a complete luck-based card. For those odds, you should get all the effects, not just one of them. That's bogus. Number 44, Sky Pegasus, a rank 4. Yep, there's a rank 4 on this list. They're not all really, really good. Now, that's actually kind of a problem when ranking cards. You're like, alright, well, the rank 4 toolbox is super diverse, and it's so easy to make, because so many decks can make 2 level 4 monsters on the field. So, its summoning condition makes it very easy to make. So is that a positive towards the card or a negative, because that means there's a million other options that are better than it, and you just would never run the card? Anyway, it's a regular rank 4 XYZ monster with 1800 attack, which is pretty bad. It would have to have a particularly good effect, like some other cards with 1800 attack rank 4. But this one's just kind of, it's just kind of meh, I guess. You can detach one material from the card, and you can destroy one card your opponent controls. That's a monster, I believe. Although, here's the kicker. Your opponent can pay 1,000 life points to choose to negate it. What? You don't have to play a card to do it. You don't have to do anything. You just pay some life points. Your opponent probably upstarted you anyway. Just, okay, fine. Yeah, no, you can't destroy my monster. That's terrible. And from a position like today's metagame, targeted destruction is just not very good anyway, but it's a decent removal, but the fact that your opponent can just kind of decide to negate it is just really annoying. It's like, I might as well neg myself a million cards with Diamond Direwolf just so I can make sure I'm trying to pop what I'm trying to pop. This is just like, no, you can't do that. Oh, well, I neg myself and for no reason. That's great. Now my opponent's gonna run over my 1800 attack beat stick. Ugh, there's just so many better removal cards in the rank 4 pool. It just makes this thing seem utterly useless. Unformed Void, another rank 4 XYZ monster. Woo! There's apparently tons of rank 4 monsters, and that means by law of averages, there's tons of bad ones. Another 3 level 4, which is probably going to be a running gag on this list. 3 level 4, 3 level anything is terrible. Very few decks can do it, and if they can do it, there's a myriad of better options. Like, why would you ever make this over Deltaros? But anyway, what does it do? During your opponent's main phase, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, and this thing gains the attack and defense of every face-up XYZ monster on the field that your opponent currently controls. Woo, a beat stick! Oh, whoopity-doo! You negged yourself to make a beat stick that's only good against Fire Fist, Burning Abyss, Harpies, and a bunch of rogue stuff no one's playing. Oh, yay. Kind of before, you know, the Duelist Alliance era, when everyone was playing, like, a ton of rank 4 decks, this might have been okay. I mean, there was post-Duelist Alliance era with S-Knights would have a much easier time making this than any of those cards, and at that point we were playing, like, Necros and Shadals and things, where this thing was no longer relevant anyway. So it's just, its time has passed for this to even be useful at all. Like Sky Pegasus, probably back in the day when there wasn't as many XYZ monsters, might have been okay. You would never still use it, but you might at least run it in your extra deck to have the option. Nowadays, it's just so power creeped and bad that you just wouldn't do it. Snow Dust Giant. Oh man, I kind of wanted to like this card. It's a 2 level 4 water monster. Woo, another subpar rank 4 monster. That's kind of a strange coincidence that there's so many on the list. It's almost like when you have things like Castel the Sky-Blasting Musketeer, things like this seem utterly stupid. Anyway, what does he do? Other than being a totally worse option than Bahamut Shark, especially with Tree Toad coming out, you can reveal all the water monsters in your hand at the cost of 1 detach, and then you can distribute a bunch of stupid ice counters around the field, and for every ice counter, all your opponent's monsters lose like 200 attack power. And that would be a pretty decent debuff if like you were playing Mermails or something and had a bunch of water monsters in your hand, but why did you make this? Why did you make this? Why was this the better option? Were you trying to get over Dark Destroyer or something? Okay, maybe that might have some niche use there, but it would just be like such a situational card. You would never use it. It's dumb. And its stats are, what, 2200? It's not even a decent beat stick. It's okay. So, in a giant pool of so much better monsters, he is dwarfed in comparison. Alright, time to stop harping on the rank 4s and start harping on the rank 1s. Woo boy. Rank 1s suffer from the other spectrum of this whole list, where instead of having a million better options that make these cards look shittier, they are the only options, which makes you feel worse, because if you choose to play a rank 1 deck, you are stuck with crap like this. Number 56, Gold Rat. Now, it almost sounds like it's a good card, but again, 3 level 1 is a pain in the dick. I don't care if your deck can spam level 1s like crazy. You don't want to neg yourself that much, especially for an effect like this. Once per turn, you can detach material from it and shuffle 1 card from your hand into the deck and then draw a card. Oh, so it's not even like Dark World Dealings where you get to discard a card, so that way you can at least get something in the grave to use later. Maybe it helps you get a Manly in the grave, or a Plague Spreader in the grave, or whatever card that doesn't make sense that you'd be running in a rank 1 deck. But anyway, oh, and you get to draw a card. Woo! You nagged yourself so much to make this thing that you had to nag yourself just one more time just to get a draw. It's just, there's even in the rank 1 pool, there are better options. So that is still a valid argument. However, 500 attack, oh well, it's a bad card. Alright, this is technically a rank 4, however you would make it with a rum card, which is one of my exceptions to the rule here, because with the C cards, you have to account for the rum at least a little bit. It is C Mech-Equipped Djinn Engineer. Engineer's the good one. When this thing is XYZ summoned, you can target 1 monster on the field and change its battle position. Whoopity-doo! That seems like a very familiar effect that I don't give a rat's ass about. Sure, you change the defense position monster to attack position, so that means you can jam over it with this thing. It's mighty 2600 attack. But hey, if you have Engineer stuck to it, it gets an additional effect. When this thing does battle damage, you can detach from it, and you can burn your opponent for 1000. Yay? Oh, so I get that. You summon it, you turn one of their defense guys into attack mode that they're not going to have, and then slam over with this thing, detach, and do a little bit extra battle damage. Woo! You wasted a rum card and your engineer, which was clearly a better option than this in most instances, and you made this and you hit him for what? Probably like, I don't know, at most 2,000 damage. It could maybe win you a game, but it's like, if you had a rum and a rank 3, there had to be something better you could do. Why did you waste it on this? And as a rum card, like target, it kind of already makes it bad to begin with, because it's like you have to run an inconsistent thing like a rank up magic card even to get at this thing. So otherwise, unless you just never see the rum card, it's just wasting space in your extra deck. If you're playing PK Fire, you're not playing a rum card to make this thing. Come on. Yay, back to the rank ones, because there's a lot of bad ones. Baby Try Again. It's cute, and it looks kind of like a Pokemon's, so that's a thing. Or maybe a Digimon, looks more like a Digimon. Either way, it's not a very good card. At 3 level 1, it brings up that same argument, why would I ever nag myself to make this? Its effect could say win the duel, and it still would be arguably annoying to make and almost seemingly not worth it. But it doesn't do that. All it does, you can detach from this card and one monster on your side of the field can attack directly for the turn. It's got to be a level 1 monster, but that's not super difficult because if you're making this thing, you are probably only playing level 1 monsters. So, okay, fair, I guess. But that doesn't serve to make it better, that serves to make it much, much worse. So in things like Jester Confid and Battle Fader and all the cards that would totally work in a deck like that, Piper, are totally wasted because they have nothing to make. Yes, woot. Alright, it seems like I have more of these C cards on here than I actually remember, and this one I probably was just trying to forget. Number C32, Shark Drake Vice. Yeah, this thing is atrocious. What does it do? Well, it doesn't need to be rummed into, so that's a point towards the card. Hey, that's pretty nice. Thanks. That means I can just slap this right over Shark Drake, which is really cool, except for the fact that Shark Drake isn't very good, and it's a level, what is it, a 3 level 4 rank 4 monster, so it's already kind of a pain in the dick to make, and so that means that this thing is an extra pain in the dick to make, because it's just one more step for your opponent to chain something to. But anyway, what does it do? It's a quick effect, which is kind of cool. During either player's turn, when your life points are 1,000 or less. What? 1,000 or less? So you can only play this thing when you're losing? How are you doing that when you got 3 level 4 monsters to make Shark Drake, or 4 level 4 just to make this thing pure? You can detach from this thing, and then what? You can banish a monster from your graveyard and zero out the attack of another monster on the field. That's such a terrible effect. You can only play it when you're about to lose, which is gross. And you have to banish a monster from your graveyard to use it. Okay, sure, if you're losing at 1,000 life points, you've probably had a couple dead monsters in your grave to use, but this is probably played in a water deck, I would think, or, I don't know, maybe S-Nice or something that could make the Shark Drake. So you want the cards in your graveyard. You don't want to banish your own monsters. And the fact that you have to do something else negative to yourself to make this card balanced just seems ridiculous, because you can only use it very situationally at 1,000 life points to begin with. So the fact that you have to banish a monster out of your graveyard is really bad, and that would almost never be a positive thing for you. And then, like, oh, woody-doo, you can zero out the attack of a monster on the field. Who cares? I mean, this would only be very nichely useful if you both were at like 1,000 and you just like were like, aha, I got you with the oh shit, you wouldn't be able to play instant fusion because you'd kill yourself. Oh, instant fusion got you to the 1,000. There you go. And then you had to call the haunted, and you made a bunch, and then you made the Shark Drake and did whatever Shark Drake does. I don't remember off the top of my head. And then you played this thing, and then you get their monster, and then you crash over it, and you do 2,800 attack, and you're like, oh, I won! Oh, I'm Yugi! No, it's stupid. Don't play this. That's another rank 1. Number 63, Mogi Soldier. Mogi Soldier? Whatever. What does it do? At 2 level 1, that means it's a little easier to make the Gold Rat. And you can only use the effect of Mogi Soldier once per turn, because it's so broke. If you spammed a bunch of these, it would be too much. It'd be too much. And he's got 2 effects, one of each you can choose from. So it's like, ah, he's so good. He's got multiple uses. At the start of your opponent's next standby phase, each player draws a card. Okay, I guess that's kinda neat, but that means you have to wait to get the card, and on their turn, they're getting a bonus card. No, that's really bad, actually. The more I think about it, that's actually really bad. Because you're letting your opponent on their turn get a free card that you couldn't even use until your turn after, which means that they have an extra card. They're gonna kill you. They're gonna beat you. They're gonna beat you. You gave them an extra card for no reason, and you left this thing on board. They're gonna OTK the crap out of you. Oh, and then the other effect is so very novel. We each gain 1,000 life points. Rank 1 nurse burn. Anybody? Yeah, Mogi Soldier for game. No, this thing has got extremely niche use. You probably would. There'd almost never be an instance where you'd want to do this, unless it would have to be some sort of trolley burn deck where you let them draw 2 cards on their turn, then you hit them with like secret barrel and win. Lol. That's the only thing I can think of. Why'd you want to use this? Ugh. Alright guys, before we get to the worst Exceed monster in the game, I do have a couple honorable mentions I want to talk about, so let's kind of go through them really quick. First we have is Gaga Giga Gugu Gigi Ga the Risen. Yay! Terrible. It's a rank 4, but it's made out of 3 level 4, so already it's garbage. And it's just a giant vanilla beat stick. Yay! You're never gonna make this. You're gonna nag yourself really hard, and your opponent's gonna get rid of it by every other rank 4 we have at our disposal. It's just a bad card. And in that same vein, we have Gem Knight Pearl, who is actually one of the more suggested monsters on the list. But I kind of felt bad for Pearl because he did see play back in the day. That does seem kind of hypocritical of me because I don't like to reference very many past formats because they're frankly irrelevant. But he did see play when people were playing a lot of Ophion because you could rank 4 into this thing and jam over Ophion for 50 damage. Kind of valid, but he doesn't do anything, so it's hard to say that he's bad because he's certainly not good either. Another rank 4 I thought about putting on the list was Illuminite, another crappy thing, but it's got the similar effect of Gold Rat. Gold Rat took its place, and it does put a card in the graveyard, not in the deck, so there is a little bit more utility to that than Gold Rat. And the last but not least for honorable mentions is this Spark Dragon thing. Whoop-de-doo is another rank 4, and you can make it with 3 materials, and you can detach all of them and destroy all your opponent's face-up monsters. Okay, that's cool, I guess. And if you make it with 5 material, you can destroy all the cards they got. Except, how you doing that? It put that stupid spell reload thing that puts material on it. I don't know. It's like a 5-6 card combo to make this dumb thing, and you never would, but its effect is okay if you could resolve it, so I left him off the list. Time for the worst Exceed in the game, the Volvo Chain. Yeah, this thing is freaking terrible. It's a rank 4, but as a rank 4 goes, it's actually really weak. It's only at 1800 attack. And sure, you can put any card from your deck to the graveyard, but then you can't easily get at that card. And it's got that stupid slow top deck a monster effect, which is just garbage because you have to wait a whole turn to get to it. And it's banned, so if you had it in your extra deck, you'd get disqualified. I'm kidding. I love this card. This card's the fucking tits. And I was so mad when it got banned. This card's awesome. I don't care if it's utilized for a ton of stupid FTK plays and things like that. This card's great. It's a totally amazing clown bladey rank 4. And Marion is a fucking asshole for making me put it on the list with all those dumb, oh, if you like this comment, Dave's gotta put the Volvos. Fuck you. But anyway, here's the real number 1. C92 Heart Earth Chaos Dragon Garbage. Oh yay. A huge rank 10. What does it do? Hey, it can't be killed by battle. That's a thing. And whenever one of your monsters does battle damage, you gain that many life points. Okay, except for a rank 10, it's only got 1,000 attack, so he's not doing any of the battle damage. Someone else is. You're playing this thing in defense mode. Hey, and if you ranked up into it from a rum card, it gets another effect. You can detach from this card and negate all the face-up cards on the field. You had to make a 3 level 9 Heart Earth Dragon or a 3 level 5 Heart Earth, have Heart Earth die, go into Heart Earth Dragon, have Heart Earth rummed into this. Whoa, this is like a 10 card combo to bring this thing out. You would never make it with just rank 10s because that would be silly because it wouldn't get its only redeeming effect, that half of Zero Fine, which Zero Fine is so much better because it gets a boost for everything it negates. This thing should get a boost. If it got a boost, it would be pretty unplayable because it's still hard to make, but at least wouldn't be on this list. Because if it got a boost, then it could use its first effect and gain all the life points and as it's mashing over things. But nope, It's just bad, and it's like a skill drain that you have to spend half your deck to make it. It's just not very good, and frankly, for me, it's probably the worst XYZ monster in the game. Anyway guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. This was a really fun video to make, and thank you for everyone who commented on the other video. It gave me tons of ideas. Let me narrow it down, because like the synchros, there was no really jump out in your face bad synchro monster, but there were a ton of bad XYZ monsters, so it really was helpful to see a bunch of people kind of help me narrow down the list, gave me a place to start, and kind of start thinking about and testing and seeing what I could do with certain cards. But anyway guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and remember guys, if you don't troll the meta, who will? I'll see you guys next time. The Guile, there's tons of cubic in here. Dark Magician Girl!
Yay!
That's cool.
She looks great.
That's a good pull for this. Paladin Oracle of Mahad. This is actually cool. Ooh, and then we got the Lemon Magician Girl. We're getting all of these.
Wow.
We're getting all of them. Actually, that's cool. Maybe we'll have a deck by the end of this.
Oh, I want to play this deck.